everybody. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Gina Young. In today's video, I'm going to show you all how easy it is to make a delicious sweet and sour chicken, Gina Young style. You know, the kind that you can find at most Chinese restaurants, only better. This recipe is super simple. It's so easy to make. It doesn't require a whole lot of ingredients. Here are the lovely ingredients you will need. You will need chicken thighs, boneless, skinless. You're also going to need pineapples if you like them. You will need bell peppers, and I've chose to use a green and red bell pepper. We also have a nice sweet Vidalia onion. We have a really interesting ingredient. I know you see the Hawaiian punch. The Hawaiian punch will be used because we're going to make that famous red sweet and sour sauce that tastes so good. All right, we're going to need some vinegar. You're going to need cornstarch and sugar. The sugar is not here. It's actually behind me. You're going to need some spices to make everything taste good. We have salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean. Let's get started with this amazing recipe, Gina Young style. Now, before we get started, let's actually talk about how we're going to make our batter for the chicken. The batter for the chicken is so important. You want that authentic fried chicken with this golden, beautiful, crispy batter. So now you will need a half a cup of cornstarch, 3/4 of a cup all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 large egg, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a half a cup of cold water plus 2 tablespoons of cold water. And I've already made up the batter using those ingredients. Let's get started with this amazing recipe. I hope you all are having a great day today. In the comment section below, I would love to know, have you ever had sweet and sour chicken from an Asian restaurant? If you haven't, you're in for a treat. This recipe is so much fun to make. It's really exciting to see how the sweet and sour sauce comes together. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we need to take our gorgeous boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and we want to cut them down using kitchen shears, or we can, even cut them, using a knife. So what I want to do is I want to get all of my chicken pieces into bite-sized pieces somewhat like this. Try your best to make them all the same size, because honestly, when you make them all the same size, they cook up at the same time. If you have big, huge pieces and then little tiny pieces, some will be done and the others, you have to wait on the others to cook because they're much larger. Okay, so do what you can to get them all the same size. After cutting the chicken, we're going to season it very well. And the seasonings that I'll be using to season the chicken will be salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. So now that we have all of our chicken nice and broken down, season the chicken very well. Don't be the person that's afraid to season, because if you are ever afraid to season your food, it will be flavorless, okay? Onion powder, a nice amount of it. We're going to go in with garlic powder. The birds are singing. It's so beautiful outside. My goodness. I told my husband that I was making sweet and sour chicken for lunch today. He got really excited. He said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find us a good movie and we'll have, it's early afternoon. We're going to watch a movie early in the afternoon. I'm so excited. So for our lunch today, we're having sweet and sour chicken. He's going to find a really good movie. And then we're going to relax the rest of the day. This is salt here. If you can't use the salt, just leave it out. Black pepper. There we go. Look it. Took it. And the parsley flakes is going to be, for garnish a little bit later just to make it nice and pretty. I always like to let my meat set with the seasonings for at least 10 to 15 minutes to let them really soak down into this gorgeous protein. In the meantime, I'd like to talk about the oil and how much oil I'll be using for my recipe. This here is vegetable oil, and you can see that I've went somewhat up, halfway up the pan with my vegetable oil. We want to cook our chicken until it is internally, the temperature is 165 degrees, cooking it in oil that is 350 degrees. Since we've already made our lovely batter up, let's go ahead and get our well-seasoned chicken right in with the batter. Gorgeous, look at this. Oh, all right, just make sure every piece nice and coated in this lovely golden batter. And then we'll let it set in there for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, between time, we must get our oil nice and hot. One of the worst things that you can do when you're trying to fry anything is try to fry it in oil that's not hot enough. Be sure that your oil is hot, but you don't need to yank it up on super high, okay? All right, beautiful. Our chicken is nice and coated in the batter, and we'll just set it on the counter for about 10 minutes before it goes into the oil. Okay, so now I'm going to show you all what we're going to do in the next clip is we need to chop up our lovely veggies, because when you have sweet and sour chicken, they give you these beautiful veggies, which is, we have our fruit here, and then we have a nice sweet onion. So let's break this down. Let me show you how I like to break it down. I want it to be authentic, okay? And so I'm going to chop it like they chop it at the Asian restaurant, okay? Got a little bit of seeds there. We'll get rid of those seeds for sure. This is how they will typically cut their bell peppers, into squares, bite-sized pieces, not too small, not too big, just like so. Pretty simple, right? Absolutely. And I do suggest using different colors. You see in this tutorial, I'm using the red and the green, and then that nice beautiful onion. Use a sweet onion, they taste better. All right, gorgeous. And then since I have pineapple rings, I want to cut the rings into squares just like this. Okay, gorgeous. Same thing with the red bell pepper here. Look at the colors. Oh, the colors are beautiful. And it tastes good. It gives you a chance to get nice vitamins into your diet, you know? There we go. It's very important when you cook your veggies that you do not cook the daylights out of them to where they lose their vibrant color that they have. Right now, they're vibrant red, just a beautiful green color. And if you overcook them, they can lose its color, begin to get soggy and just dim. Okay, and so what I always like to tell everybody is just cook them for a couple of minutes. Just a couple of minutes just to get them, a little bit soft, and then you're good to go. Okay, put as much or as least of the pineapples in as you would like. All right, gorgeous. And then we'll attack the onion just like so. We'll set these onto a platter. I will be serving our sweet and sour chicken over a nice fluffy bed of rice. So now let's break our onion down in such a manner we are going to chop it the same way we did the bell peppers. There is nothing hard when it comes to this recipe. The whole recipe is very simple. Look at that. Okay, so we set our veggies aside until we're ready to use them, and I'll let you know the perfect time that we'll begin to kind of stir fry them a little bit. In the meantime, we have oil on the larger stove that's in front of us this way, and the oil is heating up. The second pot is the pot where I'm going to boil my rice. Okay, so right here, this pan that we have here, let's get started making this quick and simple sweet and sour sauce. So the first thing that we need to do is put 3/4 of a cup of water into a pan. Okay, if you want to add some of the pineapple juice, by all means you can, but you do not have to. Okay, we're going to use a little less than 1/2 cup of the white distilled vinegar. Okay, so let's get that measured, just a little less. Not quite 1/2 cup. Beautiful, that's going to give it the sour taste that we love when we think of sweet and sour sauce. Okay, so now we're going to take 2 cups of our Hawaiian punch. Be sure that it's the original Hawaiian punch. Okay, one time I made a mistake and I used the watermelon, but I tell you what, it tasted good. But just be sure. I can eyeball how much 2 cups is, so let's go ahead and get our 2 cups. Just like so. Beautiful. So now, you do have to put sugar in this, even though we all know that the Hawaiian punch is sweet. But remember, we use vinegar. So now it has a very sour taste. So to counteract the sour and to make it sweet and sour is we're going to put our sugar. I typically like to use around about 1 cup, and that's good. What I'd like to do is start off with 1/2 cup, okay, and then I'll taste it. If it has the sweet and sour taste that I am looking for, then I don't need any more sugar, okay? It has to taste sour, a little bit sour, and a little bit sweet. Okay, so I want to taste this, okay, and then I'll switch spoons. It needs the other half, because I can really taste the sour, okay? So let's put the other 1/2 cup, sugar going right in, and then I know that I'm good to go. Okay, I will switch spoons. Beautiful, let's bring this up to a slight boil, and when I tell you a slight boil, you're gonna see just the little bubbles coming through. Once that happens, I'm gonna show you how to make a cornstarch slurry to thicken up your sweet and sour sauce, Gina Young style. I know, it's really interesting. Give it a nice stir. It's almost coming up to a nice boil. Beautiful, and I tasted it a second time. That's what I'm looking for. Our water is boiling. I'm using boil in a bag rice. Just put it in boiling water. Cook it for 11 minutes. Nice fluffy rice every time. The oil is ready to accept our beautiful chicken. At least I think so. So why not put a tester piece in? Bear with me. And if it does what it's supposed to do, that's what it's supposed to do. You see that sizzle, 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 baby? That's what it's supposed to do. If it does that, you're moving in the right direction. Just make sure it's not up on high. Okay, so mine's is cooking on a medium, maybe just a tad bit over medium. Okay, get all of your lovely chicken into the oil, just like so. And when I come back, I'm going to show you how quickly it browns up. Your chicken will begin to float. It's going to get that perfect golden brown color that we all love. Your batter will be crispy. The chicken will be so soft, supple, and very well seasoned. It's beginning to happen already. Look at that nice golden brown. Rice is boiling. In this ramekin, I have about 2.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I've mixed it with cold water. When you first put it into your Hawaiian punch, it will turn it a bright pink color. But don't worry about that. It'll go back to this famous red color that we all know as sweet and sour sauce. It takes a while to kind of combine the cornstarch and water, because in the beginning, when you first start stirring it, it sticks a little bit. Okay, but now that we have it nice and smooth, and you can see that the juice is boiling, the juice, the vinegar, the sugar, pour it in, but I'm going to always suggest when you pour in your slurry, you're stirring. Better be stirring, okay? You stir so you don't get lumps. Okay, remember I told you it'll brighten up. It will get dark here in just a few minutes, and right before your own eyes, you're going to have Gina Young style sweet and sour sauce that tastes just like the Asian restaurants. I promise you. I know I do, I promise. I promise you all. I ain't never steered you wrong before. I needed more cornstarch. So let's put more in. Be sure to stir it. And that may happen to you. If you, at any time, it doesn't thicken up, throw a little bit more cornstarch in. All right, and it will. Let me show you how thick it got right before my own eyes. Look at that. Oh, nice and thick. Oh, we'll cook this for about 3 minutes and then be sure to turn it off. And taste it. Blow it off. You don't want to burn yourself, you know. This, so good. Now you can really see how thick. Look at that bubble. That's it. Turn this burner off. All right, let's scoot it aside. You don't want to keep cooking it. Once you thicken something up, don't keep cooking it. In this pan, I have a little bit of oil. Let's stir fry our veggies just like so until they begin to soften. Look at this. My husband just yelled down the steps, baby, I got the perfect movie we're going to watch, so I'm super excited. Now, the other day, we watched a movie, and it was called Split. S-P-L-I-T. It had to be one of the best movies ever. Oh my goodness, this is going to go perfect with our movie afternoon. You know, and usually people say movie night. This is a movie kind of afternoon, and I'm happy. Oh, this is going to go great. I hope you did find a really good movie. I don't want it to be one of those party pooper movies. You know, where you want to go sleep on it. Beautiful. That's what I want your chicken to look like. It's almost done, believe it or not. Let's get the rice out of the pan. We're going to cut the rice out of the bag and just give it a nice little butter. Put a little bit of parsley flakes to make it pretty. In a few minutes, we'll turn the veggies off. Leave the vibrant color. Don't overcook them. I've turned the vegetables off. The chicken needs to come out of the pan. We will put our chicken onto this cooling rack so that the grease can drain onto the cookie sheet. If you all enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Tell the world what Gina Young is doing in this kitchen on a daily basis. Heavenly Father, I thank you on today for this beautiful meal in Jesus Christ's name and your many blessings along the way. Amen. God bless. Good night. Make you some.